Welcome back to Burning River Bushcraft. Today we're going to be taking a look at my mission belt. I've been testing out this mission belt for about a month now, and this thing looks brand new, and that's because of the design of the belt. This is kind of a unique design. This was actually on Shark Tank, and the way the belt works and the way it doesn't really look worn is because there's no holes in the belt. So you don't pull it through a buckle and have one specific hole that you usually go with, and then it kind of gets elongated and changes shape. This buckle has little plastic tabs on the inside of the belt, so you don't see this when it's worn. And you can hear it click into place. So you're really not putting any stress on the leather. You're not really marking up the leather. There is a ton of different buckle designs. There's a ton of different shape belts. There's width change in the belts. There's different looks. This is the gunmetal buckle, so I kind of like that look anyway. And the color on this one is just chocolate brown. Now here on the inside, you can see it as it ratchets, it's catching. And then to release it, I've got a tab here, and I just pull this up, and I can loosen it or tighten it and just make micro adjustments. That's probably the coolest thing about it. If I'm going on a long drive or I'm just trying to relax a little bit, I can just loosen it one little notch. And again, if I'm carrying heavy tools or a knife on my belt, I can just give it one extra little pull and tighten it up a little bit. I love the micro adjustments that I get with this mission belt. So when I'm talking about the standard style buckle, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can tell exactly what size you use the most. You can tell where it wears on the buckle. And they kind of get an age to them. And I'm okay with it. But especially for a dress belt or when I'm trying to look a little more presentable, this looks like a dress belt, but it's a lot more functional, a lot more durable because you don't have to bend that over. The problem is when I go with a thinner belt for regular wear, those holes just wear in even quicker, so I don't get that much service out of the belt. With this mission belt, with that little ratcheting system, that's not going to be a problem. You cannot even see any marks on this where I wore it. When you go to the mission belt website, you can pick your buckle, and there's a ton of different buckle options. And then the leather is kind of overwhelming, to be honest. They've got like a Western style. They've got more of an Italian leather. They've got narrow. They've got wider. But they're all going to be this similar style. And when you get this, make sure you don't just put the belt on and tighten it up. What's going to happen is you're going to pull it like you're used to doing with a normal belt and putting that buckle in, but this thing tightens like really tight. This is like tourniquet tight. This does not back off. Now this little lever here on the bottom is really simple to loosen, but when it's brand new, the first time I put this thing on, I put it around my waist and just cranked on a little bit, and it didn't back off, not a bit. And then I'm struggling trying to find the button and how to release it. So before you put this thing on, make sure you familiarize yourself with this buckle, familiarize yourself with the release system, so you're able to do it so you don't over tighten that thing around your waist. So besides just picking your buckle and picking your style and color of leather, you pick the size on this as well. So you can see you've got, oh man, that's probably 8 inches of adjustment here. That is quite a bit of range. But if this was too long, if you had too much of a tail, you can actually trim it on this end. So this buckle comes off, and then you could cut the leather back, put the buckle back on, cinch it down, and nobody's going to be the wiser. So the belt looks good and it's really comfortable to wear, but for me, this has got to be able to hold up some tools. So being an outdoorsman, I've usually got a belt knife on me, and this is about as large of a belt knife as I'm going to carry. So if I can carry this Campcraft Kernel, I know darn well it's going to hold a smaller bushcraft knife. So the problem with the thinner belt, the typical thinner belt, is that you just can't get it tight enough and it won't support the knife, and the knife will want to fall away from you. With this, you can see how the knife's held. I've still got full access to it. And if I'm not quite happy with that slip, I can tighten this up, tuck our tail, and there we go. So we've got a nice buckle that's noticeable, but it's not overly showy. This is going to hold my pants up, but more importantly for me is it's going to be functional enough to hold a tool. Another cool aspect of this mission belt, besides that ratcheting tooth system, that correlates with the backside of your belt, which is super flexible, is I've got a hanger for this as well. So there's no rummaging around looking through my last pants I wore trying to find my belt. I can leave this hanger in my closet and just click it into place. When I want it, this hook can stay there. I can hit the release and take it right off. So if this is the kind of thing you'd like to see, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment in the comment box, and ring the bell to be notified of my latest videos. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Burning River Bushcraft. I also teach outdoor classes at OutdoorCore.com. So just because I have a bushcraft channel and I'm an outdoorsman does not mean I always want to look like Daniel Boone. And I really appreciate having a belt that is functional enough that I can EDC this and I can carry tools, I can keep this in the woods, but then I can go out on a date with my wife all with the same belt. The cool thing about the Mission belt, it's a great company, but your belt is probably not going to look like this. There are more buckle designs and more leather designs and more styles of leather belt than I even knew existed, to be honest. I guarantee that if you pick your belt and you pick your buckle, your combo is not going to look like mine, but it's going to be just as functional. Till next time, this has been Jamie Boggs with Burning River Bushcraft. See you soon.